how did people enjoy the stats after the match? Because there were stats after the match with units killed and
True,
everything.
true. Yeah, yeah. That was fun. That was fun.
But anyway, enough about that, because we are now loaded into Ancient Cistern, and we are in the finals of the KungFu Cup, round 9. And we are looking at our Blue Zerg player representing Onside and Korea. It is Solar.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ancient Cistern, we have his opponent. We have the European representative for this week's KungFu Cup, number 9. It is the French Terran player. It is Clem. And I have a question. I have a question as well. I'm curious. And I think I already know the answer, but, we'll let everyone in the chat know as well. If you remember, for the first time at IM Katowice this year, they had the player stats being shown on stream. They also had it this event as well, but they didn't just have player stats. They also had player cards. They had player cards at IM Katowice. Did we also have updated player cards at this event as well?
Cards, as far as I don't know.
Sweet. Sweet.
I think they just. I think there was some kind of like visual representation.
Yeah,
but
that's what I mean. There were graphics with updated stats for the players and all that stuff.
Yeah, but there were no like physical cards. No.
Okay. Maybe they're only preserving that for the finals. It's possible that maybe for the next IM Katowice we get them. I guess that would make sense actually, because players are actually I don't know. I was gonna say that players are predetermined for IM Katowice, so they have time to print them out. That's also kind of the case for ESL Summer as well. They know ahead of time.
I mean, you also have the case where like a lot of players like changing teams and stuff, and then have to like fix their photos because of jerseys.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I hope they bring them back. I hope they bring them back. I hope they become more widely available if they do bring them back, because that was also the criticism of IM Katowice, is that like there were barely any cards and like they were only available like offline as well. Like I know that there were so many people willing to like buy them or pay for them if possible. Like.
Yeah, I actually agree, because like you have like the WTL gift box stuff, where like you also have like player cards and stuff. So, like those things are cool, and there probably is a way to like make it happen, but I mean it's just a question like how complicated it would be to do. So I guess that is something for ESL to figure out.
For sure. As we have a very economic opener here, as we're getting into the grand finals here of the KungFu Cup. 3 CC opener by Clem. 3rd CC even started before the factory is even done. So a very economic opener, very different to how he was playing against Dark, for example, in the semifinals.
Yeah, definitely, and I would see how that comes to play later on. Like, yeah, I'm curious. Like after seeing Solar play versus Creator, I'm curious what Solar brings versus Clem. As the Crypto market does go down.
Yeah, one tumor does get picked off, so not a bad start here by Clem for the most part. It was a standard opener from the Zerg player Hatch Gas Pool into a standard third base, so Solar just really solid start here to set game. Clem going for a very economic opener instead, going for that 3cc into Banshee.
Okay, so we once again gonna see more Banshees coming out. And we see if they can do as much damage as they did last game, because that one Banshee was really, really good. But I feel like Solar is a little bit more attentive, but then again, he also doesn't like making spores.
He doesn't. He really doesn't. So we'll see what this all does come down to, as Cloak is going to be on the way. But again, like this isn't like a fast Cloak Banshee or anything like we saw last game against Dark. So again, like things are just calming down a little bit. You know, it's a slow ramp up here in the finals compared to the semis, which was just, you know, kind of high octane from the beginning.
Yeah. Oh, and also, speaking of the cards, for those who don't know, this is something I think is known. The rankings on the cards are actually from what the players have given each other.
Oh yeah,
like, all the players like fill it out, and like then you know the average basically of this. Of the scoring is taken.
Yeah.
So it's not like the production like just, you know, came up with this. Like it's what the players rated each other.
Yeah. If you remember that they made videos of that for I'm Katowice. They had like
they did
additional content of the players bantering with each other, going over their numbers, going over their stats. Good stuff, good stuff. Meanwhile, it is Ancient Cistern, and I didn't get to mention this earlier, but this is one of the more likely maps where Clem would go mech, and there it is. We have factories on the way. Clem is going mech once again.
Yes, indeed. And once again, we have a whole row of Hellions rolling into the base of Solar. And once again, this Banshee is doing damage. And once again, it's staying all the way until the last possible moment.
Yeah, exactly. Solar being punished here for not throwing down his Spore. 6 drones do go down. The Banshee does escape, and the Hellions are looking for an opening. But the Queens are able to keep these Hellions at bay. But no, they actually focus on the Queens.
Yeah, the Banshees cannot access the bases, but the Queens are definitely undefended and they just get focused down and they start to fall. And even if they don't, the transfuse energy is going down.
Yeah, and as the Queens are being zoned away, the Hellions are going ham here on this hatchery as well, trying to force a cancel. 2 Queens already went down. A 3rd Queen is going to fall as well. An insane amount of damage already here with this opener.
Yeah, I mean, it is a little unfortunate that the Hellions can't really kill this base. They don't quite have the DPS.
They're doing their best, okay? They
try.
they were just raining hellfire on this hatchery for like 10 minutes, and it's at half HP. But they're getting there, you know.
Yeah, it's not like it's gonna regenerate or anything.
No, they'll try again.
Oh, okay. I to barbecue the hatchery some more.
And it's getting pretty low with the help of the auto turret as well. That's a lot of DPS. That base is getting quite low. Their Lings are going for a surround. They do end up forcing these Hellions back, but that hatchery is disturbingly low. At the same time, the Banshees come back in.
Yeah, they try to get any kind of drone damage they can, and this hatchery is actually really low, and it is not being transfused for now. Solar being a bit confident, and he may actually pay for that.
Yeah, but there's Ling Bane waiting for this army, so it's going to be difficult here for Clem to really do much else here. He is being forced back by the Queens. Solar is now safe here in between his bases, and Clem has to back off. As I say back off, though, because he made that Raven, he's going to be able to clean up all of these creep tumors.
Yeah, that's definitely nice for Clem, as this whole creep spur will be cleaned up. Solar is basically limited just to the paths between his bases, and you know that very much limits his vision and movement.
It really does. Behind this, Clem just getting into his upgrades. We have Magfield accelerators, Blue Flame, and of course that Banshee speed on the way as well. Hyperflight rotors. Just like against Dark, he is going for this more flexible this more flexible style of battle mech.
Once again, we see Hellions and Cyclones on the way, as well as the Banshee production not stopping, so I guess he will try to do the same thing. But actually, the Banelings this time crash into all of these Hellions. They are not sniped in time, and they clean up most of this army.
A very crucial fight for Solar. He got us around with the Lings, he locked down the army, the Banelings did crash into the juicy center of those Hellions, and now Clem won't be able to snowball out of control. Now, like, he is being slowed down a little bit here. His Cyclones were kept alive for the most part, but he doesn't have anywhere near as much to protect them.
Yeah, now these Cyclones are actually in danger as the Lings are trying to surround them again. Sure, like, Clem will get his reinforcements and he will be able to stop these attacks at some point. But the more important part, the Banshees, there's still more of them. They're getting their upgrades done and they will be able to deny this base.
Yeah, this hatchery is going to be going down. The 5th base is denied, and if you remember, this is how he won against Dark. We just continued to deny the 5th base time and time again, keeping Dark, well, actually he denied the 4th base for Dark, time and time again, just keeping him on a low economy situation. He wants that hatchery. It settles for the workers.
Yeah, I mean, it's always something, and that there are Queens here, there are Spores as well. He just tries to snipe anything they can, like any kind of small damage, and at the same time, he's pulling the attention of Solar back to his base.
He really is. We do have some flanking Queens. One Banshee finally goes down, but the Queens are exposed. The Cyclones are looking for those lock-ons, and they will get them.
Yeah, they will get them, and Queens are not able to run away in time, and all 4 of them will be falling down together with a few transferring drones, and Clem is not stopping here.
Yeah, that was a massive pickoff, by the way. What was that? 4 or 5 Queens going down in the blink of an eye. 5th base gonna be, oh god, 5th base gonna be denied. The Banelings, they all crash into one Cyclone.
Yeah, that was actually crazy to see how many Banelings the Cyclone can take, and yeah, those Banelings were wasted for Solar. Now he tries to counterattack with the Zerglings, but I think Clem should be more or less okay.
He has Hellions back at home to defend. They're rotating over. The Planetary is still on the way, but the Lings are going to have a hard time finding any damage whatsoever. Solar trying to take the center base instead, trying to find some better luck here, but again, Clem has just had so much map control for so long, and now he's transitioning. He's commencing tank production.
Yeah, we have tanks on the way, and this will make this army this much more Did you see the tank? One tank started spinning.
he's happy, he's excited. He's been stuck at home all his life, and now he can finally be free.
Yeah, he was very excited, and he's excited for this fight as the Terran army actually surrounds the Zerg for once. And there are blinding clouds landed though, so these tanks will be disabled.
Yeah, the tanks, they do get caught out of position. Every single tank's going to be going down. A great catch here from Solar, but even though he killed all those tanks for free, is it going to be enough? We have a couple of abducts, and the Cyclones are being cleaned up as well.
Yeah, the Cyclones were trying to run away, but they were abducted straight into the Hydras, and actually that cleans up most of the army of Clem. I think Solar may be actually breaking through.
In one fell swoop, Solar literally killed everything there was for Clem. Every single tank, every single Cyclone as well. Clem was caught very exposed out in between his bases. That was the best fight that Solar could have hoped for. And now he's looking to close things out. The triangular third base is or has been taken out. We do see a lot of the SCVs were saved that were transferred over here towards the north instead. Solo's going to back off. He doesn't want to overextend. He did lose his Vipers. He needs to regather that energy. He has to top them back up before he goes to wave 2.
Yeah, and Clem has a little bit of time to reinforce. He's getting Ghost as well as some upgrades for his mines. I don't think he has a lot of mines yet. Yeah, I think he has literally just one.
Yeah, one Widow Mine is all he does have with his army. We do see the 5th base now up and running here for Solar. He is remaxed with Ling, Bane, Hydra, Viper, which can do very well against this army. He's going to be looking for some of those abducts. He's looking to try and shut down these Cyclones.
Yeah, he's trying to come in. The Widow Mine does not do much, and now the Zerg army is rolling in. Clem is trying to set up some last-minute Sim City, but the Banelings are still rolling, and they will crash into this army.
They will crash in. There was an EMP on 2 of those Vipers, but one Viper still has energy. There we go. We have an abduct on one of those Cyclones. We can look to get another as well to shut down the mobility of that mech army.
Yeah, and now, even though it's just basically Hydras left, like, I mean, those Hydras are enough to clean up what's left of Clem's army. He has to be careful about this Widow Mine shot, but this is not enough to kill the Hydras.
Yeah, exactly. Does have to be careful here. Lings are coming in to reinforce. As you're saying, a pure Hydra army typically isn't ideal. Usually we need Ling Bane to support this, and we can see that some of these Hydras are being bullied back, but Solar is just backing up for now. He's regathering energy on those Vipers once again. Well, they have to be careful not to kill the Hive. Oh!
Yeah, the Hive is a little bit low, but now once again Solar is moving in. He's sniping all of those Cyclones, and the rest of the army is forced to move back.
Yeah, the power of the Ling. You saw that things came in from behind. They got us around. They locked down those Cyclones for the Hydras to finish them off. And yeah, Clem is really struggling to hold on. I mean, I say that, he still has a decent economy. Like, these fringe bases have been left pretty untouched for quite some time, but his main army is really struggling to get going.
Yeah, and Solar just keeps going. It's wave after wave. He's sniping the tanks, he's sniping the Cyclones. He's rolling straight into the Ghosts, and they will be going down.
GG, well played. Solar will take game number 1. But that wasn't an easy game for Solar, let's be real.
No, it definitely wasn't. But I mean, once I feel like the things really changed when Solar was able to I think basically when he first rolled his Baneling into the Hellions, like he was able to stop the snowball before it ever even happened. And then it was the second fight with the Surround where like he just cleaned up most of the Cyclones.
Yeah, for the most part, Solar had really, or he had better army engagements. He had better like map positioning. But in the lead up to that, that's where Clem was really thriving. Clem was doing such a great job at harassing, at picking off queens, picking off bases, killing workers as well. Like, Clem set himself up for victory in the early to mid game, to be honest. Like, he had such a great start, getting so much damage done with his Banshees, with his Cyclones. But as you're pointing out, Solar was able to have better engagements overall and have an amazing engagement when he got on top of all those tanks. So it was like, what, 10 tanks? Or 8 to 10 tanks, and they all basically went down for free because of the blinding clouds.
Yeah, that was actually crazy. That was. It looked like Solar was surrounded, but actually it was Clem stuck there with him.
Exactly. Honestly, I'll be honest. If it wasn't for Solar catching all those tanks, I'm pretty sure Clem would have just won. It's like that was a really crucial fight, a really critical fight for Solar. If he didn't catch those tanks then and there, I don't think he would have been able to ever engage the army of Clem, because he was beginning to snowball out of control. So, yeah, really important moment there for Solar.
Definitely, and I mean, well played. That was it might have not been an easy game from Solar, but I mean, he was able to bring it back in a quite solid way. So, yeah, very nicely done.
Definitely. With that, we're going to be looking to get into game number 2. As a reminder, this is a best of 5, so we still have plenty more games ahead of us, still plenty more StarCraft to come, so don't worry, we're going to have much more TvZ, and I'm sure one of these games, Clem won't play mech.
Are you though?
Yeah.
Can you promise that he's not gonna do it?
He does play Bio from time to time. It's he has been known to do so, so I'm sure we're going to be seeing that as well, as we're going to be slipping into game 2, and that's going to be on Gressvan.
Yeah, the lobby is being set, and yeah, let's see what these two players can do. Let's see if I actually, honestly, I want to see if any of them will go for something like crazy aggressive. I don't mean like, oh, I'm gonna make a lot of Reapers and get advantage. No. I mean like proper cheese. Or will we have like all macro games?
Is the 3-rack's not cheesy enough for you? You're like, no.
No.
Okay, no. This we need something.
No, just full.
We need something more stinky. Okay,
needs to be some proper quality cheese. Okay.
Proper high quality cheddar, papi. I understand. I mean, cheddar. Oh, I mean, I was about to say that Clem isn't quite from NA, and let's be real, that's where the stinkiest cheese is. But we'll see what we get.
I never said it has to be from Clem.
Oh, okay.
But somehow, some way, I feel like it's unlikely, but we will find out, as we are now loaded into Gressvan, and we are looking at our first player. In the bottom right corner of the map, we have the blue Zerg player, representing Onside and Korea. It is Solar.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Gressvan, we have as opponent, we have the French Terran player representing Team Liquid down in this series, but again, best of 5, plenty more to come, looking to come back, looking to bounce back. It is Clem, doing his best Beyond impression.
Yeah, he does seem to be enjoying this build, but we'll see how it goes for him. Actually sending an early SCV as well.
Did you watch?
See?
Did you watch Beyond versus Dark on Gressvan? Because this is what this is.
No. Oh, you mean today?
Yeah.
Today, yeah.
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 For those who weren't here, we were able to cast Beyond versus Dark earlier today, and the series lasted like 10 minutes. Beyond cheesed twice, and he lost twice very quickly. He was scouted every time. And on Gressvan, he did go for a Rax at home. He went for a proxy Rax across the map. Dark was able to scout this and shut it, and just cleanly deal with everything that Beyond had to offer. But we'll see if Solar is able to likewise scout this ahead of time and prepare himself for the Reapers.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like that might have been like something very Dark versus Beyond specific, where like Dark just seemed to have like Beyond's number, just like he knew exactly where the Rax would be.
Yeah.
But here, I don't think Solar is actually suspecting Clem to do this.
I don't think so either. I mean, the first Overlord is going to be zooming across the map, and we'll be checking the front door. We'll get eyes on at least one Rax. And he should be aware that something is wrong. Something is missing here in this wall, in this build.
No, what do you mean? It's a perfectly fine Terran wall. There's the Rax.
Oh my god.
There's the depots.
Yeah. I apologize. We were focusing so much on Clem, but Solar went for a gas first. He went for a gas pool hatch opener. He's got Lings already. He's
Yeah,
got
so
Ling speed on the way.
Yeah, so the Lings will be coming, and that will be great for defending from those Reapers, especially with speed, but we'll see how much damage Clem can do, because we did see that his micro is pretty good, so let's see it now.
Yeah, exactly. So with this Solar, he won't just have a lot to defend, he's also going to have a lot to counterattack. Because it was a gas first, Ling speed is very fast here from Solar, and when it does finish up, he's going to be he's not just going to be cleaning up this army, but also going for a counterattack.
Yeah, and I think Clem knows that he's preparing the wall on his side of the map, and he stopped the Reaper production for now, and he's just trying to see what else he can do with just Harassment Force here, but I don't think he's committing to anything more here.
Oh, he does peel off one of those Reapers. He gets a kill on the Queen. Very nicely done. He will lose 2 Reapers in the process, and again, now Solar has map control. He's rushing across the map as we speak. The wall is a wall, but these add-ons are looking very exposed.
Yeah, they're on the outside of the wall, and they are very easily surrounded by this swarm of Zerglings, so they may be denied. At the same time, because of these add-ons, Clem is not actually making any units.
Yeah, there is 1 Marine, and the Reapers do survive. The Reapers were able to use the terrain to their advantage and get onto the correct side of this wall. They do live, and even though this add-on is exposed, there isn't enough to really punish it. There aren't enough Lings on the ground, and Clem does hold on and survive. Oh.
Yeah. Clem survives, but for how long? As round 2 is coming, Solar is working on roaches.
Yeah, here we go. This is such a risky, such a risky maneuver here as we get the add-on stop going in the face of all these Lings. But we do see that Roach Horn being thrown down very aggressively here from Solar very early. He is going to be producing roaches, but how many is the question? He's looking to try and punish this wall, to punish the production, punish the add-ons. There we go. 8 roaches are now in production. Ling's going to be flooding out behind this. Solar doesn't have an amazing worker count, I'll be honest. He's only got 33 workers, so again, this push has to do damage. Not just get on top of the production, but also break into the natural and kill some SCVs. The Hellions do counterattack, but they are pushed away by the Queens, and these Lings and the roaches, they haven't been scattered. They haven't been spotted yet.
Yeah, they haven't been spotted yet, as they are already moving across the map, and I don't think Clem is gonna spot them. He sees the Zerglings now, but they just ran past the Marines.
Yeah, it looks like, they do get 1 Marine. Not quite much else, but they slip into the main base, and they're causing the army to react. They're forcing Clem back into his own main as the roaches go for that counterattack, and now they have been spotted.
Yeah, they also sniped a few of the Hellions on the way, and the wall is still not a wall. Like, this lifted building doesn't even matter, because the depot is not being closed, and yeah, Solar just has open way.
This is as far away from a wall as you can get. Like, Clem, he just opens up his natural, inviting Solar in as the Lings, Roaches, and Ravagers do get into the middle line. Every single worker has to be pulled. Again, we have very little to defend. It's on the boys.
Yeah, I think Clem was a bit too confident here, and now there's, as you said, the boys have to defend from this Link Roach attack, but I don't think they can, as they just keep dying.
Yeah, there's just, again, not enough to hold on here. 34 SCVs have already died this game, and we're going to see even more full as well. There is nothing left. Looking at the side, we have 1 Hellion and 4 Marines. The bunker is doing what it can here, but there's no way for Clem to hold.
Yeah, so Solar just keeps swarming. The wall is still not being closed, by the way. The depot is still there. And the Zerglings just have easy way straight into the main.
Yeah, exactly. This all-in was unscouted by Clem. GG gets called, and Solar takes game number 2, taking a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, very quickly and confident lead for Solar there. And like, as you said, like, game 1 was not an easy one for him, but in game 2, it's like, you know what? I got this. And he just does.
Yeah, I mean, you wanted cheese, and I wouldn't say this is cheese, but we saw hyper aggression come out from Solar. You know, again, he opened up gas first. He went for a gas pool hatch opener, somehow accurately reading that his opponent would be going for something a little bit cheesier, something aggressive, and he was able to punish it so hard. And unfortunately, because of Ling speed, because of the active Lings on the map for Solar, we saw that Clem just wasn't able to scout across the map. He wasn't able to get across the map in time to figure out what was going on.
Yeah. Yes, we will be setting for our next map soon. And Honestly, I'm curious what Clem is gonna do. Like, because you know he did go for mech. It almost worked, but it didn't. He did go for the Beyond style for the Reapers. It did not work at all. So what is next?
Are you suggesting that Clem should play standard? Is that what you're saying? Is he?
No. Why would you do that? It's not like it's standard for a reason, right?
Alright, we'll see. We'll see how spicy Clem is feeling as we're getting ready for potentially the final game of the series. Solar is one game away from becoming this week's KungFu Cup champion. Clem has to fight back here and now. Is he crazy enough to go for, again, some kind of weird build, even go for a proxy Rax or multiple proxy Raxes? Or is he going to return to normalcy instead? It's on him.
Indeed it is, as we are now being loaded into Babylon for the third map of the series. As a reminder, Solar is already 2 maps up. He's already 2-0 in score, so he is on match point in this best of 5 series. And we are looking at our Bluezerk player in the bottom right corner of the map, representing Onside and Korea. It is Solar.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Babylon, we have his opponent. We have the French Terran player representing Team Liquid. Down 0-2 in this series. He needs to win every game moving forward. 3 games in a row to pull off the reverse sweep. Can he pull it off? It is Clem. And he's not going for the Beyond 2 Rax opener.
No, he's not. He's actually staying in his base. He's building on top of the ramp. But does that mean standard? Or are we gonna see more of the mech?
I don't think Babylon is an amazing map for mech. So I'll be honest, here at Game 3, I think we have the highest chance for some bio play. I think Clem, we've seen him, I mean, we saw it against Dark, right? We've seen him just go for this mass drop style with Marines, with just hyper aggression, and I do believe that he can bring that out again against Solar. I want to believe. We like it, you know, Bio versus Ling Bane. It's good stuff.
Yeah, definitely, but we'll see if we can get that here, as you know, Solar not starting overly aggressive either, but he will have that gas done, so we'll see what he decides to do with it.
Yeah. So Solar this time he does go for a standard hatch gas pool. This time nothing too crazy as we saw in the last game. So for the time being, it looks like everyone is calming down after the craziness that we've had already this finals. And for the time being, it looks like we're going to be playing normal.
Yeah, that's what it looks like, as we do have Solar's Overlord scouting the situation, and you know, Clem as well going for the Reaper, going across the map, so no, nothing out of the usual right now, and we'll see what the follow-up will be.
Yeah, as you were saying, Solo confirming there's not going to be a 2-Rax opener. He also confirms the location of the natural base as well, that it is on the way. So Solo gets all the scouting information that he needs as he works towards his 3rd base already. Clem, guessing a little bit wrong, he went to the linear 3rd, was not able to delay that hatchery as it was thrown down.
Yeah, it is already started, and now Clem can show off his micro a little bit more, but he does not take any links. He only damages a few of them, and looks like, you know, both parties will just go back to what they were doing.
Yeah, exactly. Solo gets his 3rd up. We're going to be able to saturate our bases. We have Queens on the way as well. Solo even getting ready for a Reaper jump into the main base in case that were to occur. And now we have Clem's choice. He is going to be not going for a 3rd CC before Starport. He's going for a 1-1-1 opener. So a little bit more aggressive here out of Clem.
Yeah, okay. We'll see where he goes with that, because we've already seen 1-1-1 from Clem today, and usually it goes into Banshees and into mech. But I mean, maybe the story will be different.
I don't know if I'd say it usually goes into Banshees and mech. It usually goes into Banshees and then maybe mech or bio. You can't play bio out of this, so that's what I'm hoping for anyway. But we'll see, as you're saying, we'll see. As we do get the add-on swap, we should be seeing the Banshees on the horizon here. And again, because of this, we are going to be delaying the third CC. So again, the pressure is on Clem to do some damage. But I mean, today his Banshees have been out of this world. They've been doing so much damage for him in multiple series.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like the Banshees are the MVPs for Clem today. I mean, unfortunately, that doesn't always mean he wins the games, but the Banshees definitely pay for themselves, and we will see if they can do so today. As Solar is actually on top of keeping attention to the army, he moves out the drones immediately upon seeing the Hellions, and there will be no damage done here.
And this time the Overlord dives into the main base, confirms all the production, does see the research on the tech lab on the starport, also on the racks, which does confirm fire.
We're having bioplay. Right. Is this real?
Oh, let's go. It's going to be Marines. It's going to be Marauders coming out from Clem. Before that happens, of course, the Spores are on the way for Solar because he scattered the production. Of course, he is getting ready for it. And this time, this Banshee is going to have a harder time finding damage.
Yeah, it definitely will. And these Hellions are being fended off quite nicely as well, as Solar does keep an eye on him and the Queens are rotating accordingly. But the Banshee actually may find a few drones.
Banshee does get one drone here at the third base. At the same time, Lings go for a counterattack, but the wall is a wall. Clem is going to be able to hold on. What's important, though, is what we aren't seeing. There's no third CC. 2 more Raxes were thrown down. This is the beginnings of a 2-base all-in from Clem.
Oh. Okay. So we are going just 4 more Raxes. Okay, so I will see how it goes, really. I'm honestly not sure, because so far Solar has been defending quite nicely, but he's also in the middle of transitioning into Roaches. So maybe Clem can just outproduce him.
Yeah, I do think that the Roaches are a nice addition. Third CC is thrown down far later, so we're still going to be very committed with this push. But thankfully, Clem will not be all in. He will be able to saturate his third, but there's still a lot more pressure on him to get damage done with his push when he does finish up these medevacs, when he does move out with his tanks.
Yeah, and the tanks are already starting to pop out. The Marines are on the way. The Hellions are still trying to find some damage, just keeping the attention of Solar, but so far they were not able to get into any of the bases.
Yeah, and I really appreciate this Roach Warren here from Solar, because I feel like Roaches, and specifically Roach Ravager, is so good defensively against these tank pushes. As you can imagine, they can very quickly deal with those tanks without having to, wrap around and actually get on top of them because of those biles and shut down these pushes. But we'll see how this is handled as Clem is moving out with his army.
Yeah, he is moving out. I'm not sure if Solar has spotted this yet, but I think he's aware that it is coming, as there are scans going on. He will try to go around this army with the Zerglings, but I think he actually needs a lot of forces at home.
Yeah, exactly. The army does stim on forward. Biles are going to be keeping the Terran player at bay. Looks like a couple of reinforcements have been caught out by these Lings, and they're looking to keep an eye on this third base. Again, Solar needs to figure out if this is all in or not, as the third base is in the midst of being landed.
Yeah, that it is, and yeah, we'll see how this attack for Clem goes, because it looks like he actually moved the tanks back home upon seeing the Lings, and now it's just the Marines with the Banshees trying to go forward into Solar spaces.
Yeah, it does look like Clem has recognized that this push is not going to work. He respects Solar's position, and he does back off in the end. So Clem is going to try and transition out of this and focus on his economy, which is, again, a kind of a dangerous prospect here just because of how delayed his third base is.
Yeah, indeed. And now these Marines are meeting the Roaches, and actually a few of them are getting sniped, and Solar's army is just moving forward.
Yeah, for the most part, he's just keeping up with the drop play of his opponent. Bile's going to be zoning away some of those drops. Creep was receding a little bit, but Solar is on top of respreading as much creep as possible. And again, he just has such a commanding position here. I mean, he's getting fully saturated on 4 bases. He's droning up to 80 as we speak. Oof.
And with that, he has the time for a transition as well. He's working on the Hydra, then he's working on Hive. The Lurker then has been put down, and Solar is not finished with... improving his army. Like, he's just keeping Clem at bay, basically.
Yeah, and that scan from Clem told him a lot. It told him I'm behind. As he saw the saturation for Solar, and Solar, he isn't just getting on top of his economy. As you were pointing out, he's taking up very heavily. He's going Hydras, Lurkers, Hive as well, Infestation Bit. He's taking up because he knows he has the freedom to take up. He knows that Clem, for the most part, is keeping the majority of his army back at home, and he is safe to do so.
Yeah, the Banshees once again are trying to get some damage done, but there's actually detection here with the Overseer, and I'm not sure if Clem wants to move into this, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to be threatening with these Banshees, and hey, he's you know, doing quite a bit of damage here, and here we go, Clem, and now he unsieges. He's moving everything across the map for a second big push. At the same time, the Lings do go for a counterattack, but no, Hellions were left at home to defend.
Yeah, that's very nice for Clem. He will not be suffering damage at home, but he will be losing a few of these Marines. He has to be careful about that. He also does not clamp the tank, so they're not in danger of just being blinded clouded straight up.
Yeah, again, Clem is trying to punish the greed here of Solar. He needs to do damage with this push. We have the Lings being set up for a surround. Solar gives up the base, and he's taking the top right-hand base instead.
Yes, indeed, and Clem is finishing off this hatchery here, and the Lurkers are now being shown, but there is detection with the scan, and they are taken down by the tanks.
Yeah, we do see the Lurkers immediately unburrow and back off, respecting the positioning of these tanks. The thing is that Solar has successfully gotten here to this point where he has these Lurkers. Vials are going to be raining down. They do take down one of those tanks, but oh, that was quite a lot from Solar.
Yeah, and more of the units are falling down, and the tanks are keeping their position. The Marines are here as well, and Solar is taking that base in the north, but he doesn't have anything right now.
Yeah, he does not. Meanwhile, we have a Viper coming. We have another yoink on one of those tanks. Again, the tech of Solar just doing so much for him, just carrying so much weight in this fight. The Lurkers, the Vipers as well. Clem is setting up a bit of a counterattack. If he's able to take down top right, then he will be actually in a pretty good position. We'll see if Solar can react in time.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he can. He actually is too focused on the front of his bases, and the main just is left unattended. At the same time, the top base is being in danger.
Yeah, Solar has to defend the top right-hand base. It looks like he has enough reinforcements here to barely hold on. Drop was threatened into the main, as you were saying, but Solar was also able to keep up as well. He defends both his main and his fourth.
Yeah, he was able to move back just in time. At the same time, Clem is now moving forward. The Lurkers were not dug up, but they are now here, and they will be able to deal with most of this bio, probably.
Yeah, Solar was finally caught out of position. A lot of damage was done. The Queen count was reset. A lot of Overlords going down as well, but the main army has been able to rotate in time. At the same time, though, there was nothing left back in the top right-hand corner. Clem is pulling Solar apart.
Yeah, that he is, but his army is also quite small. He needs the reinforcements to come in. There are some on the south side of the map, but he has to make sure that the entire army of Solar is not in one place.
Oh no! Solar spit from Clem. He was looking, but oh, you cannot fight these Lurkers. He loses a lot of Marines trying to, as he is at least able to force a cancel on this base, but Solar has the map control. He's now pushing away all these drops.
Yeah, those were very fancy splits, but with that many Lurkers, it's actually very hard to do so effectively. He is catching a few of these roaches now because of the buffing, which is very nice, but yeah, we'll see how the fight goes when both of the armies are actually in one place.
Yeah, exactly. As Clem has to be careful not to be caught out of position, not to be caught unsieged. We do see him taking a fourth base behind this, so the macro here of Clem is keeping up with Solar. Oh, Solar even struggling a little bit with his drone count. He needs a fifth base.
Yeah, but Clem is moving forward. The Lurkers are dug in, but now there are ghosts and they are sniping them down. The tank is pulled straight into the Zerg army and it will be going down.
Yeah, now Solar's in a lot of danger. He just lost 2 of his Vipers. He has Lurkers, sure, but he needs a 5th base sooner rather than later. I don't think he really recognizes yet. He hasn't seen the 4th of his opponent. Not yet, anyway. He doesn't know that Clem is actually ahead economically.
Clem has to be careful though, because he's walking straight into those Lurkers and he cannot allow himself to lose too many of those units because Solar can easily overwhelm him.
He really can. As the Ling Roundby is being set up against Solar, he hasn't seen that the planetary has already been taken. He doesn't know that about Clem's position right now. Does have a large army, to be fair, but the tanks are getting within range of the Lurkers.
That they are, and they will be taking them down slowly but surely. Solar is pushed more and more into that corner, and he's losing the position.
Yeah, he is, and he cannot afford to lose this position. He is expanding towards the south. He's now working on a 5th base, but he needs to hold on to his current bases. Another lurker gets sniped.
Yeah, now there's not that many of them left. Another tank is pulled into the Zergami, which is nice, but the ghosts are still surviving.
They really are. Meanwhile, Solar, he goes for the run by not just Lings, but also lurkers as well. It looks like the planetary has to be forfeit.
Yeah, the planetary does go down. The SCVs are mostly evacuated as Clem is moving forward. He's going around the lurkers actually and just straight into the base.
Yeah, exactly. Can the lurkers keep up? It looks like the army just avoids them once again, stepping forward towards that 3rd.
Yeah, and every time the lurkers unburrow, they are being sniped by these ghosts. There's still quite a number of them left though, and they are posing quite a danger.
They really are. I mean, the ghost count is still quite high, and they have been able to snipe quite a lot of these lurkers. Meanwhile, the lurker counterattack takes down the tank.
Yeah, it takes down the tank, and it's taking down the production slowly but surely, but it is being dealt with. At the same time, Solar is trying to push Clem away from his base, and I think he's barely able to do it.
That was a bold move from Solar. He lost a lot of his lurkers trying to pull that off. He's going to be able to take down the tanks on the left-hand side. The Bio Army is breaking on through as well, but it looks like we have enough reinforcements. Solar barely holds on.
Yeah, even getting the medevac on the way out, but what now? What's next?
Oh, he's actually catching a lot of these medevacs. He gets a medevac full of ghosts.
Yeah, that was really nice for Solar. A really great catch for him. And I mean, there are still a few more ghosts left, but that's always impressive. That's it's just less snipes for Clem, as he's finding any units that he can.
Yeah, like Solar is still up against the wall. Like, he's still struggling to hold on. Clem was very quick to expand and take another base, by the way. We can see Clem actually floating his main base over towards the southern 4th. The snipes are going off in the lurkers. They can't really stand a chance against all these ghosts.
Yeah, the ghosts are barely surviving. The Marines are chasing off the drones, and a lot of damage is being done to Solar. He tries another link run by into Clem's bases, but he's not really able to get much links into it.
Yeah, exactly. He's doing some damage, but for the most part, Solar is struggling to hold on here. 13 drones have gone down. There's no detection at the 3rd base either, so this one Banshee just going ham. This one Banshee has 20 kills, by the way.
Yeah, of course. As one does. Banshees have definitely been the thing for Clem here.
It's the Clem Banshee. It has to have at least 20 kills per game. Oh god, as we do see Clem just rotating over. He still has a 4-base economy. He's working on his 5th base as we speak, and Solar, he's just been bleeding out too many high-tech units, too many high-value units as well. Looks like the Link counterattack is going to be able to punish the 5th base of Clem, and it does force him back, only for a little bit though, as he's still focusing on his push.
Yeah, and Clem will be moving into this base of Solar. There are Vipers here, there are Lurkers as well, but let's see how this attack goes, because there are so many ghosts.
Yeah, exactly. Lurker after lurker gets sniped one after the other. There's nothing to protect them, and every single lurker is going down. Oh my god.
Yeah, and even the Vipers are getting sniped straight out of the sky. Solar tries to counterattack instead, but there are tanks, and Clem takes the game.
GG, well played. Clem had a slower start to this game. I mean, initially he wanted to be very aggressive, but he was slowed down a little bit. But once he got the ball rolling, he could not be stopped. He was just keeping so much pressure on Solar. Oh.
Yeah, definitely nice game from Clem there. And he did play Bio. So what does that tell us? Should Clem just play Bio?
Yes. GG, well played. I mean, to be fair, this is kind of what Babylon leads to. Like, Babylon, there are a lot of really good tank spots here for the Terran player to take advantage of, and they can just apply so much pressure to the Zerg. So I don't know if we're going to be seeing that map replicated throughout this series, or like that kind of the way that game played out. I don't think we're going to see that again, but I do think that was a really strong showing from Clem, really showing that he can keep up or even out multitask Solar and eventually break through.
Yeah, definitely. It's very nicely done.
Yeah, as we are going to be getting ready here for our next game, it looks like we're going into Royal Blood. And what's important is that Clem has a little bit of momentum now. He does finally put a point on the board, and this could be the beginning of a comeback.
Sorry, I'm trying to fix a technical problem.
So it could be the beginning here of a comeback. Again, we were talking about it earlier. He needs to win 2 more games in a row to win this series. He cannot slip up, not even once, against Solar. And we'll see if he can pull it off. I'm sure, you know, Clem has a lot of experience, especially in these online events. So I'm sure he's not feeling too much pressure, all things considered. I'm sure if anyone can do it, Clem can. And, you know, he's already taken that first step. He's looking to take even more. He's looking to force the ace match, as our next game will be taking place on Royal Blood.
Yep, and we are about to be loaded into that map. And I guess we'll see what our players prepared for us this time.
Yeah, here we go. So Royal Blood, I do think that we're going to be getting much more... I don't know if I want to say even game. I do think that there are definitely tank spots that can be taken advantage of on this map, but for the most part, I expect a more back and forth. I don't expect mech, but we'll see. We'll see what we do get.
Yeah, we will see indeed, as for now, what we see is our Zerg player. It is representing Onside and Korea. Currently up 2-0 in this series, so constantly at match point. It is Solar.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the French Terran player, the European representative for this week's KungFu Cup. Representing Team Liquid, it is Clem. See the chat catching up a little bit, and the sniping of the lurkers at the end was crazy. It was crazy. Again, like we saw, what, like 10 lurkers just sniped in the blink of an eye, all just going down instantly. It goes to show how vulnerable they are if there just isn't enough to support them, if there isn't a Ling Bane in front of them to try to fend off those ghosts. But they couldn't be, just because Clem was just forcing his way in, leapfrogging with his tanks. Again, just really good positioning overall from our Terran. As no coulda as it looks like we are getting a little bit of latency here. Unfortunate. I will be able to Discord stream, but yeah, we did have a little bit of technical difficulties going on earlier, so as long as I have my co-caster with me, we can still cast.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but I guess the heat is starting to get into my PC, and it's suffering. Let's just keep it at that.
Fair enough. Well, here we go. We are getting into our next game, into game number 4, and so far nothing too crazy, and thankfully we have the technology, so I can restream to Kuro, and we can still cast. Not gonna be the best quality, but we'll do what we can.
Yeah, and I mean, I can see the game at least, so that's good.
It's fine.
It's better than not seeing the game.
Yeah, exactly. Seeing the game is sometimes necessary for casting, only sometimes. Don't worry about it. As we do see Clem going for a standard opener once again, his Rax is back at home here at the ramp where it should be. The Reaper also zooming across as well, just to dance here with the Lings, but Solar likewise opened up with a hatch gas pool, so standard openers across the board.
Yeah, and once again we have a Reaper dancing with the Zerglings at the base of Solar. And he is able to snipe one, but that's about all it will get. We'll also get some information, I guess.
Yeah, it gets a second and a third Ling as well, so a great amount of damage so far by Clem. He confirms the third base location as well. Wasn't able to slow it down, but you know what? He was able to still trade well against those Lings and keep his Reaper alive. Meanwhile, across the map, we have something very interesting. We have something missing. It's a 1-1-1 with a proxy starport.
Oh, so I guess, I mean, Yeah, the starport is missing in the base of Clem. It is being
Oh my.
made across the map, and we'll see what will happen with it because Solar is already going into a lair.
We have two insane things happening. This is a 3-minute lair, by the way. This looks like a Ling Queen Nidus all-in. I'm very curious what this lair is going to be used for. So both players are looking to be hyper aggressive. Meanwhile, this proxy starport can be one of two things. We can try and go for it. Yeah, there we go. We're going to be going for a proxy liberator. Is going to be slipping into the main base. More importantly, is going to be scouting the fast lair.
Yeah, that he may. And I mean, honestly, what is Clem's reaction to a fast lair? Like, what is he gonna do with it? Like, we don't know what Solar's plan really is here. Like, we don't have really much gas, so yeah, I guess it will be the Nidus then.
Yeah, exactly. We were talking about it earlier, but Ling Queen Nidus all-in is quite popular here. We have the Overlord setting up for the main base. The Nidus is on the way. Clem so far hasn't seen anything, but we have the Liberator about to finish up, and once he gets into the main base, seeing that lair is a massive tell.
Yeah, but even if it is, like, will it be a tell enough for Clem to react in time to whatever is happening? Solar has at least one Overlord sort of in position on Clem's side of the map, but we'll see how many drones he will lose here to this Liberator.
Yeah, exactly. Liberator does force a lot of lost mine time. The Queens are busy dealing with the Hellions. They have to make a tough choice. At the same time, Nidus is being thrown down, and Clem doesn't see. He doesn't know. The Liberator didn't even see the lair. Because he's on the edge of creep, he actually doesn't see the base itself. He doesn't know.
Yeah, he doesn't know. At the same time, the Hellions are being actually trapped by the Zerglings, so even that part of the army is not there, and GG is called straight up.
GG, well played. I assumed that the Liberator would get close enough to see the lair, and that would be enough for Clem to react, but no. The Liberator, because it was on the edge of the mineral patches, it actually didn't see anything. It only saw the drones. GG, well played. As soon as the Nidus gets up and running, Solar is going to be this week's KungFu Cup champion.
GG, very solid play from Solar today.
And of course, it was the game where you had to leave where Solar cheesed.
I mean, look. It's just my computer couldn't handle the cheese. It was like, oh my god, the cheese, it's happening finally, and it just crashed.
Your PC got too excited. It got too excited. You know,
yeah.
It happens to the best of us. It's okay. It's okay. Nothing to be ashamed of. But GG, well played. Congratulations to Solar for taking the series in the end. At least it was a series. At least Clem did fight back at some point, and he was able to avoid the 3-0. But overall, especially that last game, to be fair, it was a little bit coin flippy. You know, like Clem was going for his own, you know, crazy strategy as well. Like he was gambling quite a bit with that. Oh.
Yeah, and like. As you said, like he didn't even see what was happening because he was so focused on his own, like, you know, tricky plays that he didn't really have the opportunity to scout Solar's base, and it caught him off guard.
Yeah, it really did. Caught him completely off guard. Oh boy. But again, a massive shout out to Clem for making it this far in this tournament and for becoming a finalist, which is not an easy thing. We were talking about it earlier, but if you look at the bracket, a lot of big names are in this tournament, a lot of heavy hitters. It is the quality of players here in KungFu Cup is top tier, always top tier. So yeah, even a player like Clem can sometimes struggle, and congratulations to Solar because he succeeded where Dark didn't. You know, I think a lot of the time we consider Dark to be the best Zerg player in Korea, and results-wise, he typically is. But recently, Solar has been able to succeed where Dark has failed, even taking down Dark at ESL Summer.
Yeah, it's definitely nice to see Solar coming, you know, to the higher ranks once again, because I feel like Solar is often like skipped over when talking about the best Zerg players. So, you know, it's nice to see him win these tournaments.
Yeah. I think I want to say it was even mentioned when the casters were covering Solar at the event at ESL Masters Summer, how Solar, he is one of the best, but like he doesn't, like in recent years, like he's a champion, like he's an SSL champion, for example. He's a DreamHack champion. He has trophies under his name. But in recent years, like, he hasn't had too much success in GSL. He hasn't had too much success in IEM. You know, people typically look at other Zerg players. You know, it was Rogue before he retired. It was Dark, Ragnarok even. Ragnarok having his own GSL finals run last year. It's other Zerg players in Korea succeeding, not so much Solar.
Definitely. But, I mean, he's still a damn good player, so it's better not to sleep on him.
Definitely. Don't sleep on Solar. You'll hurt your back. So, yeah, with that, congratulations. That is the end of the tournament this week. A little bit of a shorter broadcast. Usually the KungFu Cups go on for 5 to 6 hours. They can go quite long. So I appreciate it being a little bit shorter this time. But we mentioned it earlier, some of the other big names were missing. And I'm sure they'll be here next week. If you're tuning in for the first time, this is a weekly tournament. And there'll be another edition of the KungFu Cup next week at this time as well.
Yeah, there will be at least 2 more editions of the KungFu Cup. We are not sure what happens after that because the KungFu Cups of this season are synchronized with the WTL, with the World Team League. So I guess we'll just have to wait for the announcement from SCBO what exactly is happening there.
Yeah. We say announcement because it's something that we've been saying a lot when we've been casting the KungFu Cup and when we've been casting WTL, is that SC Boy have publicly stated that there is a tournament that they're working towards. You know, they want to aggregate points distributed by KungFu Cup and by World Team League, and then once the WTL season ends, there's going to be, I think, an event. I don't know if they've said that they want an event after the season or at the end of the year. Not too certain. But they do want to build up towards something, and yeah, it's maybe on the horizon, so keep an eye out for that. SC Boy have been doing a lot for StarCraft. Massive shout out to the Chinese community for making this event happen. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Like in the past few years, Chinese community has definitely stepped up, and I mean, we've seen results of that with a lot of great players coming out of that region recently, and let's hope they continue to do so.
Yeah, fingers crossed. So keep an eye out on the social medias, on Twitter, on Reddit, on Team Liquid for what that big event is going to be. And even before that, we have other events going on. We have the recently announced Africa Champions Cup number 2. I didn't think we would get another one, but we will be.
Me either.
Yeah. This time not organized by Alpha X, but is going to be, I believe, sponsored by Maturino. So I think Maturino are doing a lot of the heavy lifting behind that. So yeah, Freaka and Maturino are bringing another big tournament. There's Home Story Cup. I know Home Story Cup is, I think, next month, right? It's like
something like that.
Yeah, it's like right around the corner. So we're gonna have soon. TM, we're gonna have Home Story Cup. Is it gonna be another TSL? Maybe. Well, we'll see. We'll see if there's another TSL. But you know, a lot of things on the horizon, so a lot to look forward to out there when it comes to StarCraft events. So yeah, keep an eye out.
Yeah, definitely. Still, there are more events coming, and there are more opportunities to see these players participate. And hopefully they will.
Definitely. Meanwhile, as we're about to wrap up, as the tournament has concluded, Kuro, you don't get to cast too often. It's been a while since your last showing here on the CranKy Ducklings, so let the people know who you are and where they can find you.
I am Kuro. I am the casting jersey, as you might have known. Occasionally, I'm also an ESL referee, as we found out, as I have been on 2 events so far. But yeah, most of the time I'm working behind the scenes on CranKy Ducklings, so that's usually where you can find me. I do also have my own channel at 16 Squad Sanseki, but I don't stream there too often, so if you want to just chill, you can check it out. But other than that, make sure to follow the CranKy Ducklings, because most of my work is related to our organization, to our team. And yeah, you can probably find me here. Meanwhile, if you want to see some light playing games, where should we go?
Oh. Exclamation mark Ash, bro. You can, light_VIP on Twitch and Twitter. I do stream whenever I can. I streamed a ladder session yesterday. I didn't stream today because KungFu Cups usually take a lot of energy, and I didn't want to waste its laddering and smoging and all that stuff before the cast, so I didn't stream today, but I will be streaming tomorrow. You know, if you're interested in some Zerg ladder gameplay or some Diablo 4, I'm still playing through the story of Diablo 4 with Asher, and we're maybe halfway through, maybe. We're doing our best. We're working our way through the story of Diablo 4, so if you're interested, you can follow us there, and we will be streaming tomorrow. Speaking of tomorrow, I believe we will have another broadcast as well. I'm going to attempt to squeeze in a replay cast tomorrow. I mentioned this yesterday, but ESL Masters Summer has concluded, but a lot of matches were not casted. We were lucky enough to be a part of day one, and we casted a lot of the group stage, but there's only so much that we could do, and there's so much more that did go unpublicized. So I'm going to be trying to have a bit of a replay cast covering the matches that we weren't able to in ESL Masters Summer.
Yeah, definitely make sure to check this out because there are some really good matches out there, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. And if there aren't, we're gonna find out.
At least we will know.
We'll know.
What happened.
Exactly. Yeah, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you so much, everyone, for... I hope everyone enjoyed themselves. Exclamation mark socials in the chat if you want to tune in, or if you want to follow us on the social medias, if you want to be notified for when we go live for our next broadcast, or even VODs. We do have a YouTube channel as well where we do upload VODs on a semi-regular basis. We're going to try and get back into that as well, as we do have a lot of catching up to do. And with that, thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Thank you so much for your support. Kuro, do you have anything you want to say before we head off for the evening?
Quack.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.